So if you want to get started, just come into a nice comfortable seat. We won't stay here for long. Close your eyes and just take a moment to focus on the breath. Feeling the inhale and feeling the exhale. And take a moment to tap inside, see how you feel today. Trying not to judge it or change it, but we're just witnessing and noticing how we feel. And taking your hands in front of your heart and maybe just setting a small intention for your practice today. Maybe it could be to breathe deeper, to hear your breath during your yoga practice, or maybe it's to feel a little bit more gratitude while we're moving. Whatever that is, just setting some kind of small intention for yourself throughout your practice. And then when you're ready, you can open up your eyes and come to a tabletop position onto your mat. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And doing some cat-cow, or if you prefer to do some stomach circles, you can do some stomach circles. If not, join me in the cat-cow, dropping your belly, looking up. Exhale, round, look back towards your navel. And then drop your belly, look up. Exhale, round, look back. One more time at your own pace, just moving your spine. And when you're ready, come to a neutral spine and then slowly walk your hands out in front of you as far as you can with keeping your butt up in the air, and then release either your forehead to the mat or your chin to the mat if you're feeling like you want a deeper stretch. And just breathing into the shoulders. And when you're ready, slowly bring yourself back into your tabletop position and slowly move into your first downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers nice and wide, tucking your toes under, shifting back onto your heels. Release your head and neck, and you can pedal out the feet. I like that. That feels good in my first downward facing dog. Or any free movement that you need in this first downward facing dog. And when you're ready, slowly look forward, walk your feet all the way forward, taking your time coming to the front of your mat. Bend your knees a lot and then allow your belly to hang heavy and grab onto opposite elbows. For a first easy forward fold, you can shake the head yes and no or sway it back and forth. And taking your time, really releasing your head and neck, letting it be really heavy. And then slowly release your hands and roll up. Taking your time, coming all the way up to a standing position. You can roll the shoulders down and back a couple of times, just moving any of the weight off of your shoulders and neck. And then when you feel ready, reach your arms all the way up towards the sky, look up, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, step your right foot back behind you, lower to the front of your knee. You can fold over your mat if you need to fold over your mat or put a blanket underneath that knee. And then inhale up to a low lunge. Bring your palms together or palms apart, gazing up, ribcage in, relaxing through the face. And then a nice easy twist open to your left. So you take your arms into a T position, twist open, look over your left shoulder. Then inhale, slowly come back to center. Exhale, release your hands around that front foot, tuck your back toes under, push yourself back into a plank position. And so from there, you can lower knees, chest, chin. The only thing up in the air are your sit bones. And then pull up and through for a low cobra. Inhale, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, release the forehead. 2 more times at your own pace. Low cobra, inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. 1 more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, release, and then slowly press yourself back into your downward facing dog, maybe through tabletop, or if you feel ready, you can even press through a plank. And then press back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe a little more stillness in the second one, or maybe you still need to pedal it out and move your body around. Whatever feels good, dropping your head, looking between your legs or up towards your navel. 4 to 5 breaths in this downward facing dog, really just enjoying the stretch, reaching your heels towards the ground, navel back and in, shoulders nice and wide, feeling the 4 corners of your palms really pressing into the mat, like you're slapping the mat down or something. And then slowly step that right foot all the way forward. And lower that left knee down onto the mat. Inhale up into your low lunge. Bring your palms together or palms apart. Gaze up, rib cage in. And then exhale, twist open to your right. Take your arms into a T position and gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, slowly release your hands and then press back into your plank position. Maybe this time you feel ready for a chaturanga, or if not, you can just press straight back into a downward facing dog. It's up to you. Either way, we'll meet in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, pressing your heels down towards the earth, releasing your head and neck. Gaze is between your legs or up towards your navel. And look forward, journey to the front of your mat however you like. If you want to jump or if you want to step, inhale halfway up, exhale, release your head. Inhale, come all the way up until your palms meet, look up. And then exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step back or jump back, move through a flow. You can either do low cobra or you can do chaturanga to upward facing. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then step the right foot all the way forward. Now this time a high lunge, so keep the back toe tucked under. Inhale, come all the way up into your high lunge. Palms together or palms apart. A few breaths, really feeling into the lunge. Shoulders are down and back. Connecting to the breath. And then slowly twist open to your right and look over your right shoulder. That open twist again. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, slowly release your hands around that front foot and move through your flow, or just skip it and go straight down to downward facing dog. You just take 3 or 4 breaths, really feeling solid in this downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then step your left foot all the way forward, coming into a high lunge on the other side. Keep the back toes tucked under. Inhale, lift yourself all the way up. Either palms together or palms apart, rib cage in. Relax through the shoulders, relax through the face. A few breaths here to feel strong in your lunge. And then slowly twist yourself open to the left and looking over the left shoulder. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, slowly release and move through your flow. You can always skip the chaturangas and upward facing, downward facing, and just go straight into downward facing dog. You can always come into child's pose as well. Meeting in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then looking forward, step forward or jump your feet all the way forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up until the palms meet, look up. Exhale, release the hands. Coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Bend your knees, sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Rib cage in, belly back and in, lift and spread the toes. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And then slowly come through your flow or just skip it. You can just go straight to downward facing dog, which I do a lot when my shoulders are not feeling so great or just feeling a little bit more tired. Step your right foot forward. Now this time, warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. So right foot comes forward, back foot comes at a 45-degree angle. Inhale, lift up. Rib cage in, bend through that front knee. Look over your fingertips. And then exhale, release your hands back behind you. Clasp your hands back behind you. Roll your shoulders down and back. Reach your heart nice and bright. And then exhale, fold into humble warrior. The arms come up and over your head. Trying to keep the hips squared forward. One more breath. And then slowly release your hands around that front foot and then pivot your back toes under. And then from there, take your left hand underneath your left shoulder and then stack your right arm on top for a twisted lunge. And then exhale, release that hand down towards the ground and move through a flow. And press back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then step your left foot forward for Virabhadrasana A on the other side. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your palms together or palms apart. Warrior one, Virabhadrasana A. You can look up towards your fingers if that's good on your neck. If not, just keep your gaze straight ahead and your palms apart. Whatever works better in your body. And then from there, slowly take the hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers, maybe the opposite grip. Roll the shoulders down and back. Reach your heart nice and bright. And then exhale, come forward into your humble warrior. Arms come up and over your head. And then exhale, slowly release your hands around the front foot. Pivot your back toes under. Keep your right hand underneath your shoulders. Stack that left arm on top for a twisted lunge. And then exhale, slowly release that hand and move through your flow. Chaturanga to upward facing. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then when you're ready, look forward, step forward, or jump your feet all the way forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release the head. Come back into your Utkatasana. Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. Palms together or palms apart. Sit nice and deep. Lift and spread your toes. Navel back and in. And then inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, release the arms. Inhale, come back into your Utkatasana, your chair pose, like you're sitting back, almost like a ski move, right? We're getting into the season. Then exhale, release the hands, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up, and then move through your flow or just skip it. Yogi's choice. Pressing back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right foot forward, Virabhadrasana A on the right side again. Inhale, come up, warrior one. And then exhale, open up into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. So opening up your hips now. Arms go straight, look over the front fingertips. And then straighten out that front leg. Maybe you step that back foot in just a little bit. You move into your triangle, Trikonasana. Stacking the arms on top of one another, hinging from the hip rib cage in. It's almost like I'm pushing on that top hand and you're resisting. Shoulders down and back. Gazing up if it's good on your neck. And then exhale, slowly release your hand around that front foot, tuck the back toes under. Now this time, heel toe your right foot towards the edge of the mat. Lower that back knee onto the mat. So you can stay here in like a lizard lunge, or if you want, you can slowly come down onto your elbows. You can bring your elbows to a block, whatever works in your body. Breathing into the hip. Just releasing and trying to let go of any tension you might be feeling. And then slowly take your hands underneath your shoulders. And then from there, we're going to do a little bit of a big move. You can try it out. If it doesn't work in your body, that's okay. You're going to step the left foot outside of the left hand and then come all the way down into a Mulasana squat. So you can also sit on a block or a pillow. Try and take the hands in front of the heart. Take the elbows and press them out into the knees. Try to lift the spine nice and tall, shoulders down and back, chin is tucked. And your face is nice and relaxed, so if the tongue is stuck to the roof of your mouth, try to release and let go. Try to relax through the face. One more breath. And exhale, release your hands and slowly straighten out your legs and heel toe your feet, coming into a nice forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up till the palms meet. Gaze up, look up. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, come all the way up. Gaze up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, step back, jump back, move through a flow, your choice, or you can just skip it and go straight to downward facing dog. Always a beautiful option. Pressing back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Feeling the four corners of your hands pressing into the mat. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Gazes between your legs are up towards the navel. And then slowly step that left foot forward into Virabhadrasana A on the left side. Inhale, come all the way up, palms together or palms apart. Rib cage in, couple breaths here. There's this slight twist of your belly towards the left. And then slowly open up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Looking over your front fingertips, relaxing through your shoulders. Breathing. And then slowly straighten out that front leg. You might have to step that back foot in just a little bit. Hinge from the hip and then release that left hand to wherever it falls comfortably, stacking the right arm on top. Gazing up towards the top fingertips for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Rib cage comes in, and then you twist open and gaze up towards your right fingertips. And then exhale, slowly release your hands down. Pivot the back toes under, and then heel toe the left foot out and towards the left edge of the mat. Release the front of the right knee onto the mat, coming into your lizard lunge. You can slowly come down onto your elbows, or you can stay upright, or you can even release your elbows onto a blanket or a block, whatever works best in your body. And just breathing into the hips here. And slowly taking the hand underneath your shoulders. And again, making that big step forward. If that doesn't work in your body, just come however you like to a malasana squat at the front of your mat. You can also place a block or blocks underneath your sit bones to help you. And place your hands in front of your heart and take the elbows and press out to the sides of the knees. Nice tall spine. And breathe here. And slowly release your hands and straighten out your legs. Inhale, toe your feet to center. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Bring your palms together, gaze up. Exhale, release the hands. And then take a nice wide stance onto your yoga mat. And your feet are pointed straight ahead. Take your hands onto your waist. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, fold forward and reach to the inside line where your feet are. And from there, lengthen up through the spine once again. Get nice and tall. And then exhale, fold. Reaching the top of your head up toward, or top of the head towards the mat. Might never reach the mat, but you're reaching it in that direction. The elbows and the shoulders are in line and they're rolled under and lifting up through the navel. So lifting it up and back. One more breath. And then from there, placing your hands onto your waist. Inhale, use your core strength, bring yourself all the way back out. Turn your right toes out, your left toes in. And then come back into your warrior two on the right side. Relaxing through the shoulders, looking over the front fingertips. And then bend that elbow, take it towards your thigh, and then slice that left arm up and through. Look up and underneath the arm. So you could stay here, or if you liked a deeper variation, you could take the hand on the outside of the foot on a block or something like that, or you can keep your elbow up. And if you're doing the elbow, try not to lean all your weight, but using your core strength as well. And then from there, release your hands, pivot your hips towards the ground, and then take that back knee all the way towards the mat again. You might need to fold it over. Inhale up into your Anjaneyasana or low lunge, and look up. Palms together or palms apart. I'm trying to bring that rib cage in, relaxing through the neck and the face. And then exhale, twist open to the right. So the arms come into a T position. We'll go over that right shoulder again. And now back to center. And then exhale, release your hands and then straighten out that front leg. So you're in Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. So you're trying to stack the hips on top of one another. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, fold over that right leg. Any amount that feels good to you. And then slowly coming back forward, coming up into a Virabhadrasana 2 on that right side, using your core strength to bring yourself all the way back up. And then straighten out that front leg and come back into your Trikonasana on the right side. So you're welcome to stay here. If this is like, I'm good right here, then stay right here. Or if you like to come into Ardha Chandrasana, you'll take all your weight onto your right foot. Take that left foot, really press it through the air. And the right hand is about a footprint out in front of you. You can always use a block to help you. You can keep that left hand on your waist, or if your balance feels solid, then you can reach that left arm up. And from there, if you still need more of a challenge, you can gaze up. If it's enough challenge, then keep your gaze down and really just press through both feet. You're really pressing through the feet. And then slowly bend that front knee, come into Virabhadrasana 2. And then inhale, straighten the legs, turn the toes back to center. Place your hands back onto your waist. Now this time, clasp your hands back behind your back. Roll the shoulders down and back. Reach the heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Hinging from the hips. You can reach the arms up and over your head. Now, if that doesn't work, you can also grab onto opposite elbows or do another variation that feels better in your body. Now release your hands to your lower back. And then place your hands onto your waist. Use your core strength. Bring yourself all the way back up to standing. Now turn your left toes out, your right toes in a little bit. Come into Warrior 2 on the left side. Straighten out your arms. Look over your front fingertips. Relax through the shoulders. And then bend the front elbow, take it towards the thigh, and then slice that right arm up and through and look up and underneath the arm. Rib cage comes in, twist, look open, up and under the arm. And then release your hands around that front foot and then pivot your toes and release to the front of that right knee onto the mat. Inhale, come up into Anjali Asana, palms together, look up. And then slowly twist open to your left. Take your arms into a T position, look towards your left shoulder, twisting from the navel, from the core. And then inhale, slowly come back to center. Exhale, release the hands, and then straighten out that front leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Folding over that left leg, any amount that feels good, trying to keep the hips stacked. And you're really lifting up through the chest. You're not really rounding, you're lifting up. One more breath. And then slowly come back forward into your Warrior 2 position. Inhale, come back up into your Warrior 2 position just for a breath. And then move into your Trikonasana, your triangle. So again, you can stay here in your Trikonasana, your triangle pose, or you can come forward into Ardha Chandrasana. So really pressing through both feet, stacking the hips, rib cage in. You can reach that right arm up, or you can keep it on the waist. The gaze down, if you want to challenge yourself, you can take the gaze up. But if you feel solid in your balance with your gaze down, keep it down. And breathing, stacking your shoulders, connecting to the breath. And then slowly come all the way back into your warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. And then inhale, come back up, straighten both legs, turn your toes back to center. And place your hands back onto your waist, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, fold forward, grab a hold of your big toes this time. Lengthen halfway up through your spine. And then exhale, fold. Elbows come out to the side, reaching the top of your head towards the ground. And then inhale halfway up. Walk your hands out in front of you. So you're going to have a couple of options. You can either just take your legs as wide as you can and come down onto your elbows. So this would be option A. Option B would be to come into a frog squat. So you come to the inside part of your knees and your feet come in little L positions right back behind your knees. So they're in line with your knees. They're not out like this, they're in line. If they're out like this, it's too much pressure on the knee. And then from there, you can bring your elbows to the ground. And then you're going to sit back like you're sitting backwards. One more breath. And then from there, slowly come just a little bit forward. Take your time. Take your hands back underneath your shoulders and then slowly press back up into your wide straddle. Now pivot towards your right foot and bring that knee all the way down to the ground. If you need the padding, you can do the padding. So a couple choices you can have here. We can press back into that Ardha Hanumanasana, that half split variation, where you fold forward. So that's a really good option. Another option is you can come all the way back onto your heel. And so you're going to sit on your left heel. That's going to come right into the perineum. So it's where the two things meet underneath you. So you're actually sitting on the foot. And from there, you can raise your arms all the way up and then exhale, fold over that right leg. 3 to 4 breaths here. Breathing into the hamstring, relaxing through your face. Your chin is tucked, the back of your neck is nice and long. And then inhale, look up toward your foot and slowly come all the way back forward onto your mat. And from there, you'll come into a pigeon prep. So you'll take your right knee in a, like it's coming forward like a lunge, and then the heel comes towards the left hip. And at first, just lengthen up through the spine, get nice and tall, and reach out as long as you can, and then exhale, fold with keeping your hips squared forward, and come into your sleeping pigeon. Vikhapada Kapotasana. And slowly coming out, taking your time, taking your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your back toes under, and then just move your foot like you're coming into lunge, and then come into a wide straddle once again. But we're not going to stay here. We're just going to do a halfway lift in our wide straddle and move through it to move on to the other side. So now we're pivoting towards the left foot. And you can lower that right knee onto the mat. And again, you can come into that half splits if this is a preferred option and this works better in your body. If your body and you want to, you come back and you can sit all the way back onto that right heel. And the heel goes right to the perineum. Then reach your arms all the way up and then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And then inhale, look up towards your toes and just slither yourself all the way forward and come into pigeon prep on your left. So the knee comes just in line with the hip and the heel is coming towards the right hip. Lengthen up through your spine, squaring your hips forward. And then exhale, reach as far forward as possible. And then come all the way down into your sleeping pigeon. And then inhale, come all the way up. Take the hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the back toes under, and you're coming back into your wide straddle prep. Now this time taking your hands onto your waist, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Now turn your toes out and your heels in, and then place your hands coming into your like horse stance, so bending the knees, placing your hands onto your inner thighs. Your arms are super straight. And then drop your right elbow towards the center and exhale, twist and look over your left shoulder. And then inhale to center, and then exhale, dip the left shoulder towards the center and look over the right. And one more time on each side. So dipping your shoulder towards the center, looking over the opposite shoulder, and then switching sides. And then slowly come back to center. Take your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Open up your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come back and sit into your horse pose. Take your hands in front of your heart. And a couple more times. Inhale, reach your arms up nice and tall. Then as you exhale, try to sit a little bit deeper every time you come in. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, sit back. Really sit as deep as you can into this horse. Maybe even rock a little side to side if that feels good in your hips. If it doesn't, then stay a little more stagnant. And then from there, inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, release the arms and then step towards the front of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step backward, jump back, move through your flow, or just skip it and go straight to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. While meet in downward facing dog. Take your left foot towards the center of the mat, more in the middle, and then reach your right leg up towards the sky for a three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. You can try to square off the shoulders a little bit here and keep reaching that foot back. really just enjoying the front open hip stretch it brings here. So you're welcome to stay here, or if you know flip dog, you can flip your dog. So the right foot comes back behind you. You reach the hips up, open up. Nice big back bend. And then exhale, slowly flip the dog back over and come back into your downward facing dog. So moving on to the other side, you don't have to flip your dog to get that enjoyment. So just take your right foot towards the center, reach the left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. This is a great place to be. Staying here, just keep reaching that foot back. Or if you want, you can flip the dog over and open up the hips and reach open if you like. And then slowly come back into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now this time you can drop your knees and sit back into your child's pose, your devotional pose. And a couple resting breaths here. If you've lost your breath, just come back to it. And then from there, slowly come up onto your knees. So you're going to come onto your knees. And then take your right leg out to the side. This is called gate pose. So you have your hip and knee are in line. And the toes, I like to point mine straight ahead. That feels best to my ankle. But other people have other foot placements. So just kind of figure out what that is for you. Take the arms into a T position. And then reach up and over to the right side. Reach it to wherever it falls comfortably. And then slice that left arm up and through. And then look up and underneath the arm. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Now take that left hand right underneath the left shoulder, stack the right arm on top. And then from there, you can come into a half moon variation. So you're lifting that right leg off the ground, really flexing through the toes, lifting up that back leg, and then slowly releasing that leg and come back up into your gate pose. Release the hands and take your hands right alongside you. So your knees are in line with your hips. Tuck your toes under. And we'll move into camel in between. So either fingertips point up or point down. So really, it's important if your hips do go back, then you do not jet them forward, because when you're doing that, it's compressing the lower back. You really want to imagine lifting through the chest. So inhale, lifting up. Maybe your hands just stay on your lower back here. Maybe they do reach back from the heels. Maybe your hips do come back a little, but then keep your hips back and keep reaching through the hips, or keep reaching through the chest, I mean. You can keep your head lifted, or you can lower the head back. And then slowly take your hands to your lower back. Inhale, assist yourself back up, and then just sit onto your heels. And just take a resting breath here. Maybe come back to the intention you set for your practice. All right, and then inhale, come back onto your knees, coming into gate pose on the other side. So take your left leg out, take your arms into a T position, and then hinge from the hip. Release that hand to wherever it falls comfortably, and then slice that right arm up and through. Look up and underneath the arm. And then inhale, lift all the way back up, and then take the right hand right underneath the right arm, stack that left arm on top, and then you can lift that left leg up and really flex through the foot. The rib cage is in, the navel is nice and engaged. And then exhale, slowly lower that foot down towards the ground, bring yourself back up, lower your hands and come back into camel, second camel. So again, you have your knees are right underneath your hips, and your sit bones might go back a little, which is fine. Just keep them back. If we go back and we reach back and then we crank it forward, it's all coming from the lower back rather than the upper back. So your hands come onto your lower back, fingertips point up or down. Inhale, reach up. You can reach back for your feet if they're available. And if you have more flexibility, then you can undo your toes and have your feet flat and just really reaching up through the chest. And then taking your hands to your lower back. Inhale, slowly come up. And then slowly come all the way forward into your child's pose. And then slowly you can come all the way up and then just swing the legs out in front of you. Move any extra skin out of the way. Really engage through the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. You could even use a strap or a towel. Lengthen up through the spine. Once you get there, get a little more length and then exhale, fold again. And then inhale, lift up. And then from there, you're going to have a couple choices. You can just take your right foot in towards your inner thigh and come into what's called Vinyasa A. So this is a beautiful option. If you have half lotus in your practice without forcing, you can bring your foot into half lotus so that heel would come towards your groin and the foot would then balance here. So then you're in this half lotus without your foot sickling or any pressure in your knee. Otherwise, just keep the foot in towards your thigh. Reach your arms up and exhale, fold. If you are in half lotus and you know the bind and you want to do the bind, you can also do that. So yogi's choice, lengthening up and folding over. And then inhale, look halfway up, and then just switching sides. So again, the left foot can come in towards the right thigh. You can either come into Janushirshasana A, or if half lotus is in your practice, you can do the half lotus variation. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, look up towards your toes. And coming out of that pose and coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. So the bottoms of your feet come together, the knees come off to the side. And reaching your spine nice and tall, and then exhale, fold any amount forward. You can place your head onto a block, or you can just let your head hang heavy. You can even bring your elbows to the ground if you feel like you're getting deeper into your hips that way. And slowly your feet do end up folding open, so the bottoms of your feet come open. You can also use your elbows to press on the knees if that feels like you're getting deeper into the pose. And then inhale, slowly lifting yourself all the way back up. And then coming all the way down onto your back, but doing it nice and slow. So we're using a little bit of core strength. So take your feet about hip width apart. Take your arms out and then slowly curve your spine in and bringing yourself as controlled and as slow as you can to the ground so that you're really using more of your core than anything. And then come onto your back. And then take the right ankle onto your left knee. Interlace your fingers either around or behind that left knee for thread the needle. And then pull that knee in towards your chest, really flexing through both feet, reaching your head, neck, shoulder, and your tailbone down towards the ground, getting deep into the hip. And then slowly releasing the left foot down towards the ground. Hug that right knee towards your right underarm, point through the toes, straighten out your left leg. So we're working on the ascended and descended colon. So you're pressing the knee towards the outside of the underarm. And then take your left hand on the outside of your right knee. Twist it across your body. You can take your right arm into just a T position or a cactus and look over your right arm, getting yourself a nice twist on the ground. And then inhale, squeeze it back in towards your chest for one last squeeze. And then exhale, release. And then bend your right knee plus your foot onto the ground and coming in to thread the needle on the other side. So taking your left ankle to your right knee and interlacing your fingers either around or behind that knee. And then pulling the knee in towards the chest. And then slowly releasing that right foot towards the ground. Hug that left knee towards your left underarm. Straighten out your right leg onto the mat. So again, the knee is coming towards the underarm. So on the side of your body for the descended colon. And then take the right hand on the outside of the left knee. Take your left arm either into a cactus or T position. And then reach that left knee across your body, getting a nice twist. You can even look over your left shoulder if it's good on your neck. And then inhale, slowly come back to center. Squeeze that knee, and you can even squeeze both knees in towards your chest. And then squeeze your face up towards your knees. Squeeze everything into midline. And then exhale, release into your Shavasana, your corpse pose. If there's any last fidgets you want to get out, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just moving into your Shavasana. So relaxing through your feet and your legs, relaxing through your belly. Allow your arms to fall open. Just allow your whole body just completely let go and be happy. Close your eyes. And when you feel ready, slowly starting to move your fingers and your toes, bringing the prana, the breath, back into your body. You can even roll out your wrist or your ankles if that feels good in your body. Reaching your arms over your head. Last long, nice stretch. And take your knees into your chest and come over to one side, whatever side feels organic to you. And then when you're ready, come up to a nice, comfortable cross-legged position in the front of your mat where we started class. Take your hands in front of your heart. And just take a moment to feel gratitude for something or somebody in your life. And allow that gratitude to expand through your whole body, your whole being. Acknowledging the inner light in each other. Namaste.